most people go their entire lives without knowing this. Not because it's fake, not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well. So well that elite military intelligence units quietly removed it from formal training. Today, I'm going to tell you what that secret brain hack is, and why Stoic wisdom understood it nearly 2,000 years ago. Let me start with a simple scene. Imagine a soldier sitting in a dark room. No phone, no music, no distraction. Just a chair, a notebook, and one question written on the wall. What is the worst that can happen? This wasn't fear training. This wasn't torture. This was mental freedom. Now here's the part that sounds crazy. This hack isn't about positive thinking. It's not about confidence. It's not about motivation. It's about deliberately imagining failure, loss, embarrassment, pain. The ancient Stoics called it negative visualization. Modern psychology calls it stress inoculation. Military intelligence once used it to create calm minds under extreme pressure. And most people today have never even heard of it. Because the moment you truly understand it, fear loses its power. Let me explain. Your brain is not designed to keep you happy. It's designed to keep you alive. That means it constantly scans for danger. Even when there is none, a late reply to a text feels like rejection. A bad comment feels like a personal attack. A missed opportunity feels like the end of your future. None of this is logical, but it feels real. Because your brain fills in the worst story automatically. Here's the secret most people miss. You are already imagining the worst. You're just doing it unconsciously. That's why anxiety feels endless. Your mind runs horror movies in the background all day long, and you never press pause. Elite military trainers figured something out. If you bring fear into the open, if you look at it directly, it stops controlling you. So they trained soldiers to do something uncomfortable. They made them sit quietly and imagine failure in detail. Capture, interrogation, isolation, public humiliation. Not to scare them, but to remove surprise, because fear feeds on the unknown. When you imagine the worst on purpose, your brain learns something powerful. I can survive this. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote something simple but shocking. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. That line alone can change your life. Think about your own fears. Fear of being judged, fear of losing money, fear of being alone, fear of failing publicly. Most of these haven't happened, yet they already drain your energy every day. The Stoics didn't run from these thoughts. They invited them in. Here's how the process really works. You sit down, you pick one fear, just one, and you ask a calm question. What if this actually happens? Not how do I stop it? Not why me? Just what then? Let's make it modern. What if your YouTube channel fails? What if no one watches? No, what if people laugh? Okay, then what? You still wake up tomorrow. You still eat. You still breathe. You still learn. Life continues. Your brain hates that conclusion because it wants drama. But reality is quieter than fear. So why me? Just what then? Let's make it modern. What if your YouTube channel fails? What if no one watches? Military psychologists noticed something interesting. When soldiers rehearsed worst-case scenarios calmly, their stress response dropped. Heart rate lowered. Decision-making improved. Confidence stabilized. Not because they felt brave, but because nothing felt unfamiliar anymore. Fear is strongest when it says, "You're not ready." This hack replies, "I've already been there in my mind." Now here's why this was quietly removed from some training programs. Because when people stop fearing loss, they stop being easily controlled. Fear makes people obedient. Calm makes people independent. A person who has already accepted loss cannot be threatened with it. That's dangerous in the wrong hands. The Stoics knew this. That's why emperors feared philosophers more than armies. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, practiced this daily. He imagined betrayal, illness, death, not because he was depressed, but because he wanted freedom from emotional shock. He wrote, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance.'" Notice something important. He didn't say, "I hope this doesn't happen." He said, "I am ready." That mindset changes everything. Modern life keeps telling you to avoid discomfort. Scroll past it, ignore it, distract yourself. Stoicism says the opposite. Face it calmly, briefly, honestly. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming steady. Here's a simple example anyone can relate to. Think about sending an important message, a job application, a confession, a proposal. Your hands hesitate, your mind races. What if they say no? Try this instead. Sit still. Imagine they say no. Feel it fully for 30 seconds. Then ask, am I still okay? The answer is almost always yes. That's the moment fear breaks. You stop needing approval. You stop begging outcomes. You act from choice, not panic. Elite soldiers didn't use this to feel fearless. They used it to think clearly under pressure. That's the real goal. Clarity. When fear drops, intelligence rises. That's why Stoicism is not about emotionless living. It's about emotional mastery. There's another layer to this hack that most people miss. Negative visualization doesn't just reduce fear, it increases gratitude. When you imagine losing what you have, you value it more when you return to the present. Your health feels fragile, so you respect it. Your relationships feel temporary, so you show up better. Your time feels limited, so you waste less of it. The Stoics use this daily, not once a year, not during crises, every day, because comfort breeds carelessness. This is why modern people feel numb. They have everything, yet appreciate nothing. This practice restores sharpness. Now let's talk about why most people fail when they try this. They turn it into rumination. They sit and suffer without structure. That's not Stoicism. That's mental torture. The rule is simple. You visit the worst-case scenario briefly. Then you leave. You don't live there. You don't decorate it. You don't replay it all day. Think of it like a fire drill. You practice calmly so you don't panic later. The Stoics believed you should control the doorway to your mind, not lock it. But guard it. This hack trains that guard. Here's how you know it's working. Things that used to trigger you don't. Criticism feels lighter. Delays feel manageable. Silence doesn't feel like rejection. You stop reacting. You start responding. That's real power. This is also why social media feels so overwhelming today. It constantly throws imagined losses at you. Status, attention, relevance. But it never teaches you how to process them. Stoicism does. Instead of asking, how do I get more? You ask, how little do I actually need to be okay? That question alone removes anxiety. Elite training programs eventually realized something uncomfortable. People who mastered this didn't burn out. They didn't panic. But they also didn't blindly follow orders rooted in fear. So the technique faded quietly. But wisdom doesn't disappear. It waits. And now you know it. You don't need a uniform. You don't need a battlefield. You just need honesty with yourself. Imagine loss. Accept survival. Return stronger. That's the hack. Not positive thinking. Not fake confidence. Prepared calm. The Stoics believed that if you master your inner world, the outer world loses its grip. And once you taste that freedom, you never go back. If this idea changed the way you see fear, let me know in the comments. If you want more timeless wisdom explained in simple, modern ways, like the video and subscribe, because the mind you train today becomes the life you live tomorrow.